Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of ProfitMAX Podcast. And my name is Peter Lam. For those of you who have not known me, and basically what we try to do with this podcast is bring value to business people, especially entrepreneurs, founders of companies, and add value and give them different perspectives. No, because as I always say, you can read my book. Oops, wrong direction. You can read my book and you get some ideas. But sometimes it's always good to hear and pick the brains of industry leaders and hear from the best. And in this crisis, I guess when we talk about companies that tend to have survived and thrived through the crisis, there are companies that have built themselves a recognizable brand. No, so brands come to mind like Coca-Cola, Lenovo, Toyota, Huawei, and locally we have brands like Maybank and Secret Recipe and Padini and so on and so forth, Saint Hing and so on. So today we have someone who has built a great brand or contributed to building a great brand, Nippon Paint. I think you guys, everybody knows about that. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce the, oh, she's got a long title. She's the Senior Vice President of the NIPSEA Group, which is the parent company, I believe, of the holding company of Nippon Paint. And she's actually Senior Vice President Marketing and Innovation and Strategic Marketing and Innovation. Yeah, okay. So Gladys, welcome on board and great to have you here. I know you have helped to, since you joined Nippon Paint in 2006, you really contributed. I think in 2 years, you made Nippon Paint the number one paint in Malaysia. And then as the years went by, you took it to various parts of the world, expanded to other markets, and then you were elevated to the group general manager for Malaysia. And now you're the senior VP for the whole group, for the entire NIPSEA group in strategic marketing and innovation. So maybe you could introduce yourself a bit and fill in the blanks or gaps that I missed out. So over to you, Gladys.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for inviting me for this podcast. I hope I could share a little bit of my experience and maybe some of you could just, pick up some nuggets that will help you in your business as well. Just to give a little bit of background on myself, actually, I have a degree in physics. And a lot of people are very surprised when they found out about that because I think marketing is just not about creativity.
So you're a physicist turned marketer. Huh? That's very interesting indeed. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a physicist, but I have a degree in physics. But I think my interest in science, in numbers, in logic actually helps a lot in my career of building my marketing career. Actually, so I started my career in Unilever. That's our only commonality with Peter. Different batch of time, but of course, I started as a marketer in Unilever, which is a great start. I always say Unilever is a great marketing school to start your brand building.
Yep.
I handle the likes of brand like Fair & Lovely, which I think some of us who been working with Unilever are very fond of the brand. It's a very successful brand with a very single focus benefit of making skin fairer. But frankly, they have changed the name, by the way, because of, today with all this diversity and gender rights and things like that. So it's no longer called Fair & Lovely. It's not politically correct. And I also handled brands like Pond's skincare. Yeah, and also my last brand before I took off from Unilever or graduate from the Unilever Academy is Sunsilk, where we took the brand to market leadership during my period handling the brand Unilever. Then I moved to Coke, which Coca-Cola, which Peter mentioned, a short stint there. And then I decided to leave companies or organization has a brand that's very well established because I do want to test the capability of things that I've learned. And I took on to this challenge to join Nippon Paint in 2006 when the brand was just a challenger brand. And why I decided to go into this company because it was not that popular. I'm sure most of you will remember the likes of ICI and Dulux.
Yes.
No longer ICI is AkzoNobel, now it's sold to AkzoNobel, but Dulux is still a strong brand with a lot of heritage. So I was hired then to transform from a challenger brand to a market leader. And that's where my journey of 15 years began. Has been a very enriching journey, from looking from a perspective how we first transform a brand or a category, which is a very low involvement, because all my previous experience is on consumer goods. So consumer goods is in a way, when you do marketing, you do advertising, nice packaging, making sure that you have the distribution. You probably could get the brand going, in terms of revenue and market share. But for a category like paint, where you don't even know how the paint can look like, probably, all you can see is on your walls. And when you paint a beautiful house, nobody remembered. There's no brand stated on the wall, right? Not like your can of Coke or your bottle of shampoo in your toilet.
Yeah.
You don't even know the brand. And worse still, you're not even the person who's applying the paint most of the time. So that piques my interest, and I find it very exciting. Maybe not sexy to some people, because they never understand why you want to use big brands like Unilever, Coca-Cola. It's so glamorous, right? To work in such brand, to work in a company called Nippon Paint, and to grow the market. But to me, it's been a very enriching experience looking at this category. I will pause for Peter to ask me a question or interrupt me, but I can go on and on if I talk about my experience.
Okay, great. So you started off in marketing and you were building the brand. So tell us, in your words, how would you describe strategic marketing, and what is the role of strategic marketing in a business?
Okay, I think a lot of people think marketing, right? They automatically define advertising and communication. Actually, marketing is beyond that. And marketing is not the role of just marketers. It is in every aspect of your business operations. Yeah. So, like for instance, I just relate back to my experience in Nippon Paint, because it is a very challenging product, right? It's not something that you could just advertise and get sales going. Yep. Because as a product, you pay the money as a homeowner, but someone else is using the product, and you can't see the value of the product except the colors. Yep. So then the challenge is then how do you even change people's viewpoint about this low involvement category? So there are many aspects to that. Number one, we can look at product innovations, right? So first thing is product innovation. What would be the product that relates or the functional? Because you can go on and go on with the chemist and he will tell you, oh, my paint, you can last longer. But everyone says it last longer. What's the definition of last longer? They will say, oh, it's algae, protected, efflorescent, anti-efflorescent. But what's efflorescent? You don't even know. Don't understand. It's alkaline, all this lingo. As a chemist, they know it by heart, but to a consumer, how do you simplify to layman? So the product offering, how do you talk to the homeowners to make sure that they will pay premium for your product? So this is where we came with it. The first product that I launched in my career in Nippon Paint was odorless paint. It's very simple. Oh, odorless paint.
Odorless paint. Yes. Okay.
But today is a big basic requirement. Nobody wants paint that's smelly.
Yes.
But in the days when before we launched this product, paint smell is actually an emotive of just painted your home, right? Just like you enter a new car, you want to smell
a new car smell,
right? So you want to walk in your house and say, oh, your house just freshly painted, but actually it's very pungent, right?
Yes.
But the paint smell actually is harmful to the occupant. So what we need to do was it is a great product that looks at health and wealth perspective. Because there are a lot of people who are allergic to paint smell, or you have asthma, which is a very common issue, or you get headache and things like that, you are affected by paint odor.
Yep.
So, but these values may not be totally understood by homeowners. So when we launched this product, where the technology team, the R&D team came out with a lot of process, you can't just offload this information to your target audience and make them see the value. So you have to turn it into, what does it impact you? How does it make, why is this paint makes your life better, right? How does it remove all the pain points? So you must understand what's a pain point. So we do a lot of education about, whether in the office, when you paint a new office, you vacate the office people, or do you have excuse boss? I'm not MC.
Yes.
Now no different now, work from home, right? But even worse, if you want to paint your house and you're working from home, the paint odor will create, a lot of inconvenience to your family members or yourself, restaurant business owner. So we have to turn this benefit into a benefit that the end user will see value in. So they will see, if I pay this extra, of course, a little bit more expensive, that's why we innovate, right, for higher value. So they need to understand, but the saving of the fact that I can open my restaurant right away makes a lot of difference.
Yes.
For the wellness of my children, the indoor air quality of my home, it's a good value for the price that I pay. Right.
Okay.
So this is looking from the aspect of product innovation. Of course, we went on developing huge range of product innovations that consumer can understand.
Okay.
Then other than that, it's business model as well. So marketing, strategic marketing, you look at also how you can bring a better business model to your customer. So one example for paint is that we sell colors. So colors is a very important factor, because if you have paint that lasts longer and longer, and then there's no reason to buy paint. But marketers, we have to make sure that we increase basket size. We want to increase basket value, and we want frequency of purchase. So for a low involvement category like paint, how do you increase the frequency of people painting? If you are selling high value, good quality paint that can last forever, you're screwed. If you only buy every 10 years, I only can have a chance to have a business transaction with you every 10 years, which is it will be a big problem for us, right? So how do we use colors, emotive angle, to increase the frequency of purchase? So we use color trends, because color evoke emotions. So what you want is, this is where we strategically angle. As you know, normally in an industrial product, what do? You market to the man, because you think man is going to be the one making the choice, right? Making the pay purchase or pay the house. The husband is going to be the one doing it.
Not in my household.
So you have them pivot then the decision making to the female in the house.
Yes.
Because they're very emotive, right? They want to be house proud. They want to say, let's choose a color trend. It's just the same analogy for hair color.
Yes.
How do you get ladies to come into the hair salon very often? So you have those hair brands that say, purple is in trend. Change your hair color. Purple is out. Let's do red now. So this is what we do. We want to use colors as a strategy to get people to change the wall color. Then there is an opportunity to create more occasion or frequency of purchase. And then after that, we complement the innovative with more layers, just like skincare, right? You need to have toner, you need to have a serum, moisturizer, cleanser, and everything else. 5 steps to your beautiful skin. So we also need to do our 5 steps to beautiful wall. So then you thinking about per square feet, how do you increase value per square feet? So that's why I say it's very strategic, because you have to think through all this perspective. And coming back to colors. Colors equals to inventory, right? So if we have many distribution points, like dealers, and they can't carry thousands of colors, thousands of cans. So you have to think also from a perspective of your customer, which is your stakeholder. How are they going to manage this, inventory? So then the idea was, we came up with the idea of in-house or what you call many factory points for our distributor. So we focus a lot on our color creation machine. which is an on-demand machine that dispenses color at the point of purchase. So that what we do essentially is develop white paints, send to the shop, and then whatever color you like, whether it's orange, red, purple, according to trend, and it's dispensed on demand. So that the dealers doesn't need to stock up the inventory, lock their cash up, they can't pay you, you cannot progress the stock, right?
Okay.
So there's many aspects of strategic marketing. So that's why I say marketing encompasses a large spectrum in the organization.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So there's a lot there. Let me just try and summarize.
To unpack it.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, first of all, you started with product innovation. Yeah. Why do I need a superior product, a better product, a different product? And you came up with odorless paint. Yeah. And we'll go back. I'll come back to this in a little while. So that was an innovative product, but it wasn't just innovation for the sake of innovation. It was innovation with the consumer benefit in mind that was useful and relevant to the consumer. And you define the consumer as people who really can't stand all these irritations and all that of the what do you call the pungent odors or the old paint.
Inconvenience of the smell.
Yeah, the inconvenience of the smell. So that was one. Then you talked about the business model of how do you get people to choose your paint? How do you get people to buy more of your paint? How do you keep people to keep coming back to your paint, your brand, right? And you came up with the innovation, first of all, color trends. So Mrs. Housewife, who is kind of the main decision maker, will say 5 years later, hey, Lokong, husband, I think we want to make our house more bluish or more whatever, whatever the color trend was.
That is too long, Peter. The best is 1-2 years.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's like fashion, right? Making it fashionable. Excellent. And then you talked about the business model from the standpoint of how do you execute the distribution mechanics of this. Yeah, it's not a bottle of shampoo where you just go to the shelf and pick it up. It's a few cans of paint. So you go to the hardware shop, and how many warehouses do you want them to carry, right? When you got such a big range of colors. So you came up with this. What do you call it again? This
the color tinting machine.
Color
tinting machine.
tinting machine. Okay, so that was another innovation as well, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, excellent. So I hope the viewers are starting to see this, no? The way you have looked at it in terms of the benefit to the consumer, in terms of coming up with innovations, and then in terms of making it practical from a business standpoint, and getting your customer to not only be loyal but to help you increase their basket size as well and the purchase frequency. Excellent, really good. Now, I want to go into behind the scenes. How did all these things materialize and make it happen? No, was it some consumer insights? Was it brainstorming? Was it laboratories that you have with your team, or was it involvement from R&D people? Maybe you can give us a bit of insight into that part of the thing, which I guess a lot of people don't see. They just see the finished product. Yeah. So if you could share that, that'd be great.
Sure. I think number one is that you must understand it's all about collaboration in various parties. It's never a single person. But when I was, of course, in the marketing department in my organization, I decided to take the lead in this process to bring together R&D, procurement, supply chain. Because in a business, a product, you have a product formula, you must know how to produce it, you must have the packaging, the raw material, the pricing, you must go into the distribution points, so there's sales, there's technical, there's marketing, there's procurement, and everyone else. Yeah. So it's actually a collaboration of all factors. That's why I say marketing is embedded in the organization. It's not standalone, right? Now, what I want to say is, first of all, very important insight I want to share with everyone is understanding the stakeholder. All right. When I shared the earlier example, you can see it seems that there are different stakeholders. All right, we can have from the man, the person who's going to buy the paint, the wife who's not going to be the one paying the price, but she influences decision making. Talking about the people that's going to be selling your paint, the dealer. And I didn't touch one more, which is the people who's going to influence the decision of the paint brand. For instance, the painters.
Yes.
So you'll be hiring the painters to paint.
Yes.
You'll be the one using. And the
Yes.
painter can say one word. After all your massive advertising, fantastic work, but so hard to apply that the painter reject and tell to Mrs. Lam, the product very bad one, lousy one. This all marketing fluff. Guess what? Change to this brand. So painters is also part of the process. And to certain homes, the interior designers, you know, the architects. So really needing to understand the full range of the stakeholders and what roles does each of the stakeholders plays and what is their pain point. And then deep dive, because then you are recognizing there are different stakeholders and then therefore there are different strategies to change their mind, because it's all about piecing the jigsaw puzzle. It's not just one piece. It's a whole piece of jigsaw puzzle. You know, in our life, we make decisions, right? It is a piece of jigsaw puzzle. It's different various factors that we are influencing, and advertising or communication is just one of it. Of course, today, your handphone plays a big role. The program behind Facebook, Instagram, TikTok plays a role to influence what you're going to buy, right? So it's a very complex thing. But if you unpack it and really look through the consumer journey, just look at the consumer journey. If I want, what's the end goal? At the end, let's say if I put, because we are in various industry, from auto refinish to industrial, automotive, different stakeholders, but let's talk about home. Finally, what's the end results that you can provide? Beautiful home. As simple as that. So what's that process to lead to that beautiful home? So draw out that consumer journey. You know, what will trigger them want to pay? Who is going to make the decision? Where are they going to research about it? Who are they going to get help from? Painters, IDs, you know, internet, website, Google search, forums, and things like that. Who's going to go out and buy? Who's going to pay? Who's going to evaluate and be happy about it? Who's going to enjoy the end results? So understanding that whole consumer journey is very important.
Excellent, excellent. So having identified the consumer journey and the different, stakeholders and the influencers and all that, how do you address each segment of these people? The guy who's the paint man, the guy who's doing the painting versus the husband and wife, versus the guy who's going to decide what brand he wants to carry or how much he wants to carry.
Right. Then that's where you have to hone the skills of putting yourself in the shoe of the stakeholder you're trying to influence. As simple as that. Maybe the word sounds so simple, but a lot of people can't do that, you know. And there are tools. Actually, there's a lot of tools, available tools. If you buy, if you Google, don't even have to buy book, right? I said you buy a ProfitMAX book, okay? I'm helping you promote. But there are a lot of tools, but in Google or whatever, to search on how do you get yourself immersed, have empathy, putting yourself in the shoe of the person. I'm going to pick the homeowner. Let me put the painters, right? Put yourself in the shoe of the painters. He is trying to make a living, earn an honest living, right? So what is his motivation? He wants to get the job done well. He won't get complaints because he doesn't want to come back, you know, and redo it again. He wants to get more jobs. And of course, it would be nice if a customer will say, "Heng very good job, you know, very nice, you know, like the Phua Chu Kang days, all the contractor mind." As simple as that. Then next thing is that coming back to paint, what do you want? At the end of the day, do he want good health as well? Of course. Does he want to use paint that he will die faster and get cancer or whatever? Of course not, right? By the way, paint doesn't cause cancer, Just giving an example, right? So he also has a family, right? He also wants to take care of his well-being. Then he want to get a job done. So he doesn't want a product that's too complicated, you know, hard to do, must mix this together, paint few rounds, you know, and things like that to get the perfect job. He wants to earn more per job. How do you bring value to that? Okay, I'll touch on that innovation that we did to help them to earn more money, right? He wants to be upgraded. He wants to be appreciated. He wants to get the paint easily available beside him. There's a shop nearest to him, you know?
Yes.
So you see, if you think about a basic human being, it's exactly the same we want, right? Except that he's
Yes.
a painter. So
Mm.
what do we look at? We look at perspective of products, application, usability. We promote to them why you recommend this product is good health for you. You want him to finish the job, dry faster, so that he can finish the job and he can go off, he can do another job. He wants to have more jobs.
Mm.
Then you think about ideas, how you engage them. Build a painters club, a loyalty programs, he can come for trainings, you can give him more jobs, recommendation. How do you earn more money per site? Then that's where we came out with a special texture paint called Nippon Paint, where it's a special effect. So he's trying to make our painter like artists, so that people don't see them, differentiate them. Say, for instance, the non.
See them as skilled
Yes,
craftsmen almost,
yes.
rather than
So
just
you
your
also want,
basic, blue collar
correct,
guy. Yeah.
correct. So you want to differentiate them because they are also being challenged, right? Let's say if you talk about the local painters, they are being challenged by the large access of foreign painters who come in and very cheap because, well, for that obvious reasons, right? So you want them to be skill set. So you want people to come in and train them like they do proper covering of your house, masking tape, protection gear. Don't come and smoke in the house. Don't use people's toilet. But you do special effect, which you can charge higher per square feet because it's artist, it's skill. So you think about all this aspect and then you bring them, making sure that you have distribution point so that it's easy for them to go. And when they run out of paint, you don't want them to go very far, because their motorbike, their petrol as well. You want to finish the job fast, you must have access to distribution point. So you see, it's just putting yourself to empathize.
Yeah.
What goes through to a painter. Then you will probably ask me, what exercise can you do to put yourself in the shoes of these painters? Very simple exercise. Follow them, observe. You can interview, but interview sometimes people can't convey very well.
Yes.
But this is also some practice that we learned from Unilever days.
Yes.
Immerse yourself.
Yes.
Immerse yourself, put yourself in their shoe. And practice empathy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
Don't come with solution yet. Empathize what they've gone through. Then, of course, there are a lot of ideas at that moment. You will, you have all your light bulb, ting, 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 ting. You have all this, but you have to park it aside. Yeah, and see whether at the end of the day, what's that full holistic solutions that you're going to be offering to this painter.
Okay. I like how you've broken down the customer journey and the various stakeholders and how you actually very practically spend time with them. Like, I go out trade visits, market visits, actually follow the guy who does the painting to really understand the mechanics of what they go through and the journey they themselves go through, their concerns, the practical aspects of it and all that. Yeah. So I can see how a lot of what I call a little bit more, how shall I say, maybe more sophisticated marketing principles that we learn in Unilever, and using that, applying it, in a different situation totally, in what you call maybe a more industrial product rather than a consumer product, and then breaking it down layer by layer. Excellent, no? Okay, so just now you mentioned things like the handphone and your mobile phone and getting attention and all that. So maybe I'd like to touch a little bit about what we call now digital marketing, So in this day and age where this thing is inseparable from us, the role of, I guess, digital marketing is becoming more and more important. I think 2 or 3 years ago, people were like, let's test out Facebook advertising, let's test this out, let's try out, let's put 5%, 10% on our budget, Nowadays, I think people are a bit more bold and more, you see the necessity more. So maybe you can unpack for us, Gladys, the role of digital marketing today in branding, in building brands and marketing and getting consumer preferences and so on.
Okay, so I'm going to give the same analogy like what I say about marketing. Marketing is not the role of marketing alone. Similarly, digital marketing is just not just for digital those people who are expert in digital. Actually, digital is embedded in the whole organization in our daily life. So I know some organizations will hire people called digital marketing and come in. And actually what these people do is manage like, social media platforms and things like that. I will take one step back about how you digitalize, your whole organization. Because digital is a tool.
Yes.
To me, it's a tool. It's a tool that brings more productivity, more efficiency. It brings, it's a tool for you to connect better, right? If olden days, they have the horse, you will ride a horse. Then now you have a tool, you got a car. Then you got a plane, you can fly further, right? So it's just a tool. At the end of the day, it's how you embed it in your organization. And then it goes back to finally the person who use it or who going to benefit from it is human. So go back again to that process of that consumer journey, putting yourself in the shoe of whoever stakeholder that you are engaging, and how they consume. How do they do things in their life? For instance, a painter, he may use the tool now to use it to search for pricing, for instance, all right? So that he quickly can quote a homeowner price. Or maybe he want to recommend colors, right? Yeah. So the digital tool, again, you think about app that he can visualize, put the colors in and show the owner, hey, this is how the color looks like. And then it close the deal. Then you know that probably the painter also like TikTok videos, okay? Or he has his own Facebook page, So it's embedded everywhere. So then what you do is, as a person who look at digital and how you use digital as another tool or platform to engage or sell or promote or influence decision to your stakeholders. So I see it broadly that way because it's not just about digital marketing. A lot of marketers, when they look at digital marketing, because the marketing word was confined to communication, advertising, then their digital marketing is look at digital platform beyond TV, radio, those traditional media that we are used to, and how do you use these various channels to connect with your target audience. So I always go back to your stakeholders and understand what they consume. So when I gave the painter example, it's similar as those marketing who's managing advertising or communication. They will try, the agency will come and promote to them and say, oh, your audience 3 to 5 o'clock goes to Facebook, 5 to 6 watch TV. Then they also read newspaper, they drive car home, they see a billboard. So that's how they recommend the media mix, right? So digital, if you talk about digital as a channel to promote your product, it is similar as well. It's looking at how people consume, and it's very dynamic, by the way. Yes, it's so dynamic, it's so complex, to be frank, that because we are now moving in a generation that there are so many media versus this one gadget that opens door to you to so many platforms, from TikTok to Telegram to even Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. But at the end of the day, when you choose your platform, for instance, you need to know that why the person is going to platform at that point of time. What's the objective the person looking at? For instance, how you use LinkedIn, right? When you read LinkedIn, you're trying to be very intellectual and professional. So you need to feed the person at that platform, at the point of that mindset. What is he thinking right now? What is he interested in? Why he goes into that platform? Then when you go to Instagram, it's a different mindset. Yep. So, and all of us are having multi-platform, multi-touches, right? Touch points. Yes. So many. Yes. In the morning, you look your email, WhatsApp, Telegram, news, Facebook, LinkedIn. But you know that you're going into that particular platform, like you're going to a shop, right? When you go to a grocery, you're going to buy groceries. Yeah. When you go to a big mall like Pavilion, you know why you're going there. You buy fashion, for instance. Yes, yeah. So that is the same concept, right? Same principle. So it's just that now it's a lot of jargon. People get lost in this spider web. But if you unpack it and take out layer by layer, it's the same principle. It's basic human needs. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Motivations.
Yeah. So I guess it's making digital marketing integrated into your entire marketing communication, no, rather than piecemeal looking at digital marketing per se. And like you say, it's just another platform, another alternative media. Just like in those days, in my time, we read the news in the newspapers, or we listen to it on the radio, or we watch it on television, no? Now you get your news from Facebook if you want to, you get your news from WhatsApp if you want to, you get your news from Newswave if you want to, and so on and so on, Bloomberg, whatever, or TV.
But I
So,
want to add a point.
yes,
If you know how to embrace and understand this principle that I shared,
yes,
you will really know how to leverage on that capabilities. So this is where I talked about strategy marketing. It's strategy, right? It's
yes,
strategy.
yes, yes.
So for instance, I think one example that I'll share is customer service. Digital can really help you to build strong customer service or customer experience.
Yep.
So if you know how to leverage on all these levers, or the social plugins, right? So, and if you have the right team and the right mindset, you are able to connect with your customer, respond to your customer, deliver a good experience without investing a big infrastructure. And you can service them 24/7, right? So I think if you know how to take advantage or leverage on this platform, but first of all, don't say, I want to take advantage without understanding what's your problem. What is your business issues, right?
Yes.
So it's back to strategy. The core problem is finally, what is your business objective? What is your business goal? What is the challenges? What's the pain point? Then you plug in all these digital capabilities to address it, be it a loyalty program through an app, or be it a more interaction and inspiration via all this social media platform, or be it a more responsive, immediate response to your customer using whatever platform, the WhatsApp.
A chatbot on your laptop. I mean, on your the website or whatever, right?
Precisely, Telegram, WhatsApp, social media, and things like that. So there is.
Removing the friction from your customer, making it as seamless, as simple and easy for them and convenient as possible, right? Yeah.
Precisely. So how you bring it to make things better?
Yes.
More efficient. Of course, then there is, like the tip of the iceberg, right? The tip is what we are using to connect the brand experience. The bottom of the iceberg is the data, patterns, insights. That's a different story, okay? It's all about data-driven marketing, data-driven narrative, data-driven strategy. It's also to unpack that amount of insight you're getting inside whatever your digital platform that a lot of people got lost in it.
Yes, yes.
But if you know how to unpack, and search insight trends, from it, you could also identify opportunity from that. Okay.
So having all these dashboards that we now have, like you say, the iceberg of data that you have below the surface, and making sure you know how to analyze and actually do the analysis. A lot of people don't bother to do the analysis, no? Because you have so much data now, you know whether your Facebook advertising is working or not working, you know whether your LinkedIn is working, not working, you know whether TikTok is working, not working. And then you make better decisions out of that, no?
That's
versus just using gut feel and consumer feedback and market share and all that, yeah? So there's plenty of it. And I guess what you've demonstrated in this short interview, Gladys, is the combination of both the creative side of marketing, coming up with the R&D and the odorless paint and texture paint and all that, plus the analytical part of it, the insight.
Science.
Yeah.
The science is both science and imagination.
Yes,
it's true. So it is a balancing of both, right? It's not singular to one angle. So it's knowing how to move the needle whenever you require it. And then it lands me back to strategic marketing. Then it's also identifying resources, people capabilities, right?
Yes.
So whatever the marketing capabilities of the past may need to be pivoted, changed to reflect the future needs.
Okay.
So this is one area that I am investing right now as well as part of my role, to identify that framework of what sort of capabilities that we need for the organization.
Yes.
And believe me, every organization is different. So you understanding your industry, your brand, your product, then you can prioritize the areas that you need to invest in. Resource planning. People is also resource planning. Assets.
Yes. I was going to actually ask you, what are the competencies or qualities you look for when you hire marketing talent?
Half questions. I handle a large geographies with various life cycles. I think it's very important, back again, identifying what that particular market or what the particular brand needs at the moment. And
so someone in charge of automotive paint may have different competencies, requirements versus someone handling home decorative paints, right?
Correct. So it's not a cookie cutter answer.
Yep.
And I think a lot of, to me, marketing is a lot of common sense.
Yes.
A lot
but
of
you know what? Somebody told me once upon a time, many years ago when I was new in marketing, he said, Peter, but you know what's the problem? Common sense is not very common.
You're right.
True, yeah?
You're right. Some people, I think some people just overanalyze.
It's a style of thinking, and it's like I said, knowing the balance between the creative part, the insightful part, the intuitive part, and the real analysis, hard numbers and data. Yeah. Okay.
But Peter, I believe this one you can precondition the mind. So that's where there's a lot of available resources on practices.
Yes.
Recently, I had this start reading this book called The Innovator's Playbook. There are the writer used to be ex-Unilever as well. Right? There are a lot of tools that perhaps for us who have the opportunity to work with big organizations has done those exercises during our early days. And it is, once you have the exercise, you really develop the skills. So it's really conditioned in your mind. Whereas there are people who have not exposed. So when they go through that tools, it helps them to condition their mind. And sometimes it's just, you are not intuitive to certain things that you don't pay attention. It's calling out. Our brain is a very powerful machine, right? It's calling out and exercise that bit of your brain, right?
I guess it's a style of thinking, a way of thinking. That's what marketing is all about. And maybe one last question for you, Gladys. So you look after so many different geographies, so many diverse markets. How do you do that? And give us some insights there.
Actually, for me, frankly, the way I run my personal life, people used to ask, how do you do this with kids, traveling a lot. Not the last 2 years, now I miss traveling a lot, but how do you manage this? I think I believe the stakeholder management tool skill set that I have, I do the same in my own personal life as well. Everyone is stakeholders, empathizing what they're going through, and how you address the different moment, how you balance out your life is the same as marketing strategy, I guess. So I guess if a person see positively in whatever they do, it gets you going, right? It doesn't have a glass ceiling over you. It doesn't have a barrier, because you always think as it's an opportunity to solve a challenge. What's the pain point and how do you remove the pain point and how you address it or circumvent around the problem.
Okay. All right. So with that, Gladys, I want to thank you a lot for all the insights that you've shared with us, the broad spectrum of thought that you've given us. And I want to congratulate you as well, for adding value and taking the Nippon brand so much higher than it was when you first joined. And I'm sure you are one of the superstars in the whole company. And wish you all the best. And thanks a lot.
Most delighted, Peter. Thank you so much for inviting me to share my experience and my little wisdom that I have.
Okay. All right. Great.